is what?
Is pure.
The commandments of God is pure. So for you to have the pure religion, you must be keeping the commandments. That's what.
Men of Israel, attend, hut, parade, rest, attend, hut, hand, salute, Most High Christ bless, salute, down, hand, salute, Most High Christ bless, salute, down. Right now you're being called, but you don't want to listen, so guess what? God says he's going to laugh. He's going to laugh at you when you call on him. Read.
I will mock when your fear cometh.
Read on.
Verse 27. When your fear cometh as desolation.
As desolation. When you getting pulled over by the police and you start sweating bullets. Why? Because you know you got pounds in the trunk. When your fear cometh, God says he's gonna mock you.
Right.
He will laugh at you. Because it's a sin to sell drugs to your people.
Right.
It's a sin to rob your people, to kill your people. That is a sin. So God says he's gonna mock you. He's gonna laugh. Read.
And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you.
When distress and anguish cometh upon you. Read.
Verse 28. Then shall they call upon me.
Oh, God, help me. Jesus, help me. Then you're going to call on the Most High God. Then you're going to call on him to help you.
Right.
But let's see what's going to happen. Read.
But I will not answer.
But the Most High God will not answer you. Why? Because you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians hate God. You hate God's commandments. You hate your own heritage.
Right.
This is a heritage that was given to you by God.
Right.
But you don't want it. But guess what? The so-called white man in Israel, he loves your heritage. He loves it.
Check it out.
He actually believes he's you.
Right.
He believes that. That's because you let him believe.
Right.
You let him call himself the real Jew. You let him keep your Passover. You let him destroy your land.
Right.
Why? Because we didn't keep God's commandments. That's why. Read.
They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
God says you won't find him. He will not hear you. Why? Because you are in sin.
Right.
When you call on God, he's not going to hear you. Get
That's it on that?
Yeah. So again, we are out here for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Only you are God's chosen people on this earth.
Right.
You are God's on this earth. Read.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
God says he will go and return to his place until we have acknowledged our sin. What is sin? That is the question. We have to acknowledge sin. So to acknowledge it, we must find out what it is. Read.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
So whosoever committed sin breaks God's laws. Transgress means to break. Whosoever committed sin breaks God's laws. Read.
For sin is a transgression of the law.
For sin is the breaking of God's laws. So when you buy and sell on the Sabbath, you are in sin. When you believe that women can sleep with women, men can sleep with men, you are in sin.
Bring it out.
When you dress like whores, you are in sin.
Bring it out.
Go back to Hosea.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face.
So we have to seek the Most High's face. When you're seeking something, it's a journey. It's a journey when you seek something.
Right.
But you have to be strong. You have to keep God's commandments and endure to the end. You have to seek God's face. Read.
In their affliction, they will seek me early.
In our affliction, we shall seek the Most High God early. What is affliction? What is the affliction that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going through? We are persecuted by every nation on the earth. Every nation hates the children of Israel. The children of Israel are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
Every nation hates us. They sell pork to us. They sell shrimp, crab, lobster to us. That is hatred. They know we're not supposed to be eating that, but they don't care. They sell it anyway.
Hosea chapter 6 verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord.
Let us return unto the Lord. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, return to God.
Right.
Return to the Most High God. Return to your Father. Return to your power. You have no power here, black man.
Right.
You have no power here, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, black woman. You have no power in America. You have no power in Haiti. You have no power in Jamaica. You have no power. Why? Because you don't know where your power is.
Right.
Your power is in this book. Your power is the Most High God.
That's right.
Read.
For he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up.
The Most High will heal us. The Most High will return us to our glory. But we have to keep his commandments.
Right.
Give me Deuteronomy 28. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the children of God. You are the Israelites.
That's right.
You are the most important people on this earth.
That's right.
You are the most important people on this earth. Everybody knows about you. You understand that you are the most famous people on the earth? Everybody knows about the children of Israel, but the children of Israel.
Right, bring it out.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
So this is Moses speaking to the Israelites, which today is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He's telling them, if you don't keep God's commandments, all these curses shall come upon you. Read on.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Verse 37.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
An astonishment. It says the Israelites shall become an astonishment.
Bring it out.
They look at how we dress. They look at how we treat each other and they're astonished. They shake their head at us. Every nation shakes their head at the Israelites.
Right.
How can a great nation become so low? We are in astonishment because we broke God's laws. Read.
And the proverb.
And a proverb. Black people love watermelon. Niggas are always late. You know what I'm saying? That is proverbs that these nations had set against us because we broke God's laws.
Bring it out.
We want to do what we want to do. We want to date the other nations. That is a sin. We don't want to wear fringes. That is a sin.
Right.
Return to the laws that was given to you. Read.
And a byword.
And a byword. What is your nationality? Those are bywords. We are the Israelites.
That's right.
We are the real Jews of the Bible.
Right.
You so-called Khazars are not the real Jews. We are the real Jews of the Bible. We are God's chosen people. But you walk around and pretend to be us. You have the whole world fooled because you are the devil. We are God's chosen people. Read on.
Among all nations, whether the Lord will lead thee. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy, of them.
God says he knows the blasphemy, the lies of them. Read.
Which say they are Jews.
That what?
Which say they are Jews.
They say they are the Jews. Over there in Israel, they say they are the Jews. Read on.
And are not.
Are what?
And are not.
They are not the Jews according to the Bible.
That's right.
Read.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
They are the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Those so-called white people pretending to be Jews, they call themselves Jewish. They're not the real Jews. They are pretending to be a Jew. They wish they was us. Read.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Of the synagogue of Satan. Read.
Which say they are Jews.
Which say they are what?
Which say they are Jews.
So now we come to the understanding. Someone is pretending to be a Jew.
Right.
Someone is saying they are a Jew. We gotta find out who is it. Read.
And are not.
And are not. They are not the Jews of the Bible. Read.
But do lie.
But they lie because they are liars. They lied from the beginning. Read.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
The Most High will make those liars worship at his feet because they are not the real Jews of the Bible. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are God's chosen people.
Before thy feet, and to know that all have loved thee.
Brother, excuse me. You got a question?
No, I saw this guy in the metro road.
All right, come this way. That's it on that? Yeah, no. Go back to the So now we understand that someone's lying to be a Jew.
Right.
Someone is lying that they are Israelites. They don't even call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. They live in Israel, but they're not from Israel. They're not the Israelites of the Bible. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall send thee.
So the Most High said we will become astonishment, proverbs, and bywords amongst all the nations, that the Most High will send us. Why? Because we broke God's laws.
Right.
Verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Who did this happen to? When did this happen? It says our sons and our daughters shall be given unto another people. What a sign. This happened in slavery.
Right.
This happens to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Our sons and our daughters was given to another people in slavery,
right,
on auction blocks. Why? Because we don't want to keep God's. Read on.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So it says our eyes shall look for our children all the day long, and we will not find them. Brother, you got a question?
When is Jesus coming back?
When is Jesus coming back?
Because they keep saying that he's coming back. They say he come last year on the May 21st, then they said the year before that. Every year is like there's always something. This time it's September 21st. This time it's September.
You can ask me a question, I'm answering, then I'm going to ask you a question.
I know he says nobody know the time and the hour.
Well, that's the answer, brother. You know. That's what's up. Brother, what's your nationality?
My mother is Puerto Rican.
Your father is a Puerto Rican?
My father is a black man.
Okay. Your father is a black man.
But my father and mother is old Cherokee Indian. I think she was Cherokee Indian.
Okay, well, according to the Bible, we go by your father. You are what your father is. Matter of fact, get that.
Some people say you are what the woman is.
Well, we're going to see what the Bible says. We're going to see what God says. Hold on, brother, hold on.
The book of Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees.
Your pedigree is what? What is a pedigree?
It's your race, your
Right, exactly. It says they say it again.
They declare their pedigree.
Declare their pedigrees, read,
after their families.
after their families.
By the house of their fathers.
So you are what your father is. So you say your father is a so-called black man, right? So that would make, well, what is your grandfather? A black man also? So that would make you a so-called black man. You are an Israelite according to the Bible.
Right. That's right.
You are one of the tribes of Israel. According to the Bible, you are God's chosen people. And I'm going to prove that. Deuteronomy 28:32. Bible will prove that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people.
So what about white people?
Hold on 1 second.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
46, sorry.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So Moses is speaking to the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He's saying these curses shall be upon you for a sign. What does a sign do? When you see that sign that says TD, it tell you what it is. You see that sign that says TD Bank, you know, okay, TD Bank right there. These signs shall be upon the Israelites to let us know who they are today. Read on.
They shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
It says these curses shall be upon the Israelites forever. So you ever heard saying that blacks are cursed, Hispanics are cursed? Well, they are, according to the Bible. God's people are cursed because we didn't keep his laws. Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
So it says the Lord shall bring the Israelites into Egypt. Now when you read, the Israelites walked out of Egypt, right? During the time of the Exodus. They walked out of Egypt. So it says the Lord shall bring them back into Egypt. Deuteronomy 5 and 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
So it says, the Most High brought us out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Egypt is synonymous for bondage.
Right.
Egypt is slavery. Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into bondage again, read.
With ships.
With ships. What that sign is right here. You see that right there? Did it not happen to the so-called blacks and Hispanics? They were brought on slave ships, taken on slave ships. You are the Israelites, according to the Bible. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So by the way Moses is prophesying, it is going to happen. And you shall never see your homeland again, brother. What is the motherland? Africa. Okay, we're gonna find out what God says the motherland is. Bring it up.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4.
See, what we gotta realize is that we've been lied to our whole lives.
That's right.
I thought Africa was the motherland too. Why? Because the white man said so.
So he definitely Israel, man.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem.
But who?
But Jerusalem.
But Jerusalem.
Which is above, is free.
Read on.
Which is the mother,
the what?
The mother,
the what?
The mother
Read.
of us all.
Jerusalem is the motherland according to the Bible, according to God's knowledge. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do what God says. I'm going to believe God's knowledge, right, and not these scientists. They're lying to you. Go back to 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
What does Egypt mean, brother?
Egypt means slavery. Bondage.
Bondage. What's your name?
Christopher.
Christopher. All praises. Egypt means slavery. Bondage. Read.
With ships.
With ships. Slave ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So you shouldn't see your homeland again, which is Jerusalem. You should not see that land again. Read.
And there,
when you get off those slave ships, read.
And there ye shall be sold.
You shall be what?
Ye shall be sold.
Wasn't the so-called black sold when they got off those ships? Wasn't the so-called Hispanic sold when they got off those ships? Wasn't the so-called Native Americans sold when they got off those ships? Read.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
Unto your friends.
Unto your enemy.
Unto your brothers.
Unto your enemy.
Christopher, who bought us when we got off those ships?
Who bought us Europeans?
Who sold us when we got off those ships?
The Africans?
The Africans sold us?
Or the Europeans?
Well, I'm talking when we got off the ships. When we came here, who bought us?
Who bought us the slave masters?
What's their race?
Europeans?
The so-called white man. Yes. Now you asked about them, right? Read it again.
And ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Unto your enemies.
For bondmen.
So the European is your enemy, brother.
So it's about the blood. What about somebody who's mixed?
Yeah, get that.
Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9.
Listen.
Also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies.
So these other nations are your enemies. Every nation outside of the nation of Israel are your enemies.
Right.
They don't have your best interests at heart.
So when somebody mixed with white and black?
And ye shall be sold.
Hold on. Brother, we just read in Numbers, it is the seed of your father. So if your father's a black man and your mother's white, according to the Bible, you are a black man.
That's right.
There's no such thing as mixed. You are not mixed. All right, sorry about that. You are an Israelite according to the Bible.
Right.
Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
So Christopher, you listening? Yes. Egypt means what? All praises. Read.
With ships.
With ships.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So it says when you get off those ships, you shall be sold to your enemies. These heathens are your enemies according to the Bible. Read.
For bondmen,
For slave men
and bondwomen,
and slave woman. Read.
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man shall save you.
Right.
No man shall get you out of your condition you're in. That's because we didn't keep God's commandments. Read verse 15 again. 28:15.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15.
This is why we went into slavery on ships. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
We did not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. That's reason one. Read.
To observe to do all his commandments.
We didn't observe to do all his commandments. That's reason two. Read.
And his statutes.
And his statutes.
Which I command thee this day.
Read.
That all these curses
Read on.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Slavery is a curse because we didn't keep God's commandments.
Right.
Get Deuteronomy 10 and 12. So we have showed you are an Israelite according to the Bible. You are from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
You have Christ's blood running through your veins, believe it or not. That's what God said.
What about
Read.
the Egyptologists?
The book of Deuteronomy.
We don't deal with Egyptologists, bro. We deal with the Bible. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12. And now Israel.
And now Israel, Christopher, you are an Israelite according to the Bible. Read.
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God?
God says you're supposed to fear him. How do you fear God, Christopher?
I follow his laws and commandments?
Exactly. Now, imagine something. Are you following God's laws and commandments right now?
No.
Why not?
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.